If our foundation is right, everything else from there can be built. Hey, welcome everybody back to New Wine, featured by Upper Level Enterprises, sponsored by Upper Level Enterprises. I'm your boy Joshua Miles. It's great to be back with you guys. And I know we had been talking about foundation, right? And I want to get a little bit more into that. And I hope last episode you were able to be in tune and hopefully going through some, the foundation in your life right now where you might be. And, also leave leave comments in the comment field because we're helpers of one another. I want to really build a community of helpers, not negativity, but helpers, inspiration, because I really feel like that's what this world really needs, a lot more inspiration, a lot more like, hey, we all are in this together. You know what I mean? So again, y'all already know my story about my son passing away 3 years ago. And I just want to try to be some type of light while I'm still here. It's called purpose, right? So purpose will drive us to get to where we're destined and called to be. So that's why I feel like it's not a coincidence that you're here right now. And I believe that, in these times that we're in, we're going to become better, not bitter, not angry, but better, all right? So I want to continue on building that foundation. I didn't actually last episode give you the foundation definition, right? I gave you the found definition of what I felt that it was actually going to with the foundation, which I hope that actually helps you last week. But I really want to get into foundation, what that word actually means. And foundation is crazy. It means an underlying basis or principle, an underlying basis or principle. The question that I have for you is, what's been the most underlying basis that you've actually been on? Meaning your thought process, opinions, all these things really build on what has been your underlying basis. As a matter of fact, of how you think about you. How do you actually see your own self, It says in Proverbs that, so a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, right? What does that actually mean? How well do you actually see yourself? How well do you actually see the progress in yourself? All these things, because it's so easy for us to continue to get fed negativity, right? That's the easiest thing. But the hardest thing is to really put in your mind that you are an achiever, you are an overcomer, right? Because I think a lot of times, we've heard this a lot of times. I know myself, I have. Just work hard, go for your goals, and the sky's the limit, all these things that we, have heard growing up. But what I'm seeing consistently in my life, that word consistently, right? What I'm seeing consistently in my life is the fact that hard work is really in the mind, right? It's not so much of physical work, but it's the mind work, because the mind work has to tell everything else in you that it's going to be great. It's going to be fine, because the biggest thing that we give up on is through negativity of all the things that we might have faced, all the things that we've gone through. It really deters us from getting to the next level because we can get so discouraged. But that's why I'm wanting to really bring our foundation to the spotlight today, because I really feel like if we can understand that if our foundation is right, everything else from there can be built from that, right? Even when a boxer trains, there's a foundation of being what? In shape. Forget punching and all these other things. Guess what? The conditioning got to be right. You know why? Because if the conditioning is right, then you can add more on to the foundation. You know, it's amazing because we see all the great punches and all the great, juke moves and stuff like that. But yet, what comes with that is the preparation to get in shape. Because how can the body move and be quick, the agility and all these things, if it's not in shape, right? So I'm just saying that to say, if our foundation can now start to have the right conditioning, then we can start being able to expand on the foundation and build even bigger, right? Watch this. If it's a home that's going to be a mansion, I'm going somewhere, follow me real quick, then guess what? The preparation of the foundation has to be greater. Let me tell you why. Because you're going to add way more weight onto that foundation, right? That it has to be able to hold the weight on there. Does that make sense? So could it be that you've been asking and praying for a long time that you receive all these things that you've been asking and asking and asking, but what happens when your prayers are actually being answered, but it's just to expand your foundation? Because when you think about it, it's not about what you go through, it's how you go through it. And what I like about that is this: life is going to bring us tests and trials. It's not bringing us problems. See, we like to define it as problems, but what it is it's things that are coming at us to give us solutions to now be the answer, right? It's amazing because a lot of times we don't even realize that we're going through certain things that's going to actually help and bless somebody else. You might be the one that has to go through it for that person because your foundation can take it a little bit, right? And that's what in the last episode, we talked about when you go and walk into a home, you don't see how the foundation looks at the bottom. You're just seeing how everything looks in the house. But what I'm saying to say from that is this: people don't know the things that you've been through for your foundation to be as stable as it is now. And what happens is, even though they might see your story of how the house looks so expensive and all these things, but yet it's not about the expensive things or how nice the house is. It's more of the presence that you carry because your foundation is solid. I hope you can feel that right there. It's not the fact that even if they go into your car that they're like, oh, this is such a nice car. No, it's they can feel the presence of the foundation that's in the car, and that's the person that's living in you, which is the rock, Jesus. And I'm just really wanting to encourage somebody right there, because sometimes we can really, really beat our own self up. I'm gonna tell you right now, we're our own worst enemy. I know I am. I don't know about you. I could be my own worst enemy, my own worst victim, all these things. But yet, every single time I have to make sure I'm checking my foundation. And that's what we're here to do. We gotta continue to check where our character is, because if not, it's so easy for us to get caught up in all the negativity, all the craziness. Because let me tell you something. I don't know if y'all have children, but in these times that we're living in right now, our children are watching us constantly, every day. You might not think they are, but they're watching you. All right. And what's crazy is the fact that if you don't watch it, if your foundation is not planted, things could get a lot worse. So I want to just encourage and leave us with some type of inspiration to know that, you know what, my foundation might be a little shaky right now, but you know what? Let's build it even better. Let's be that dominating force that people can look at you and be like, wow, I need to correct my foundation because that's where I want to be right there. Until next time, I love you guys. Leave some comments. I'm hoping that this is really blessing you. Let me know, hey, I need some work on my foundation in this area. Let's pray about it. Whatever. I mean, we're here, you know. So stay tuned. See you next time.